is on match point. We'll go to the CrossFinals finals if he wins one more game. He scouts sOs's shenanigans and defends it one more time.
We are going to be jumping into this game right now. Let's jump into Frozen Temple for game number 4. Here we are on Frozen Temple, another one of our 2-player maps here in this map pool. On the top left, in the red, the Zerg player from Samsung Galaxy Con. 1 win away, it is Solar.
And down here at the bottom right, in blue, is the defending BlizzCon champion, sOs. Justifiably called it $O$ by his closest fans. And we'll see what he's got planned here on Frozen Temple. Another 2-player map where cheeses, proxies, all viable. And I almost, as much as I would like to see him play straight up, and if I were coaching him right now, that's what I would tell him to do. I don't think he's going to, because if he were going to, I think he would have done it already. I think he's got something else planned here for this map.
You know what I think we need to see now is Disruptor drops with Speed, Warp Prism.
Yeah, I
think that's the one.
That's the next one, yeah. That's the next reasonable conclusion we can reach from what we've seen so far. I would have to agree.
It's pretty good on this map, right? You can get over to that to the opponent's base very fast. First of all, you can drop at the natural quite easily.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of empty room on the right side of the main where you can drop it and hide it, and then just send in the ball.
Yeah, you can hit the main, hit the third base really fast. Definitely.
We've seen players do it before. I'm not sure about against Zerg, but I think we've definitely seen it against Terran.
Hush did it against Zerg on the Gettysburg in the Challenger match.
Yeah.
No, that was an interesting game to say the least. But we'll see.
Not one that I'd go back and rewatch.
No.
I'm surprised you remember that one.
I tried not to, but it haunts me.
Haunts you?
Yeah. Impressive that he qualified for Star League, though. I'm kind of a secret Hush fan myself. The practice Boneswa. Well,
he's quite good.
Let's see what happens here, because so far we don't know, obviously, what the tech is. Solar is already very carefully sending his overlords across to gain that valuable information. The mothership core is out. Gas will build. And the question on everyone's mind is to build what? Will he spend that gas on a Stargate here?
No, two more gates.
2 gates.
And then probably a Twilight, I'd assume.
It leads that way. Now what sOs could also just do here is do a more traditional Adept timing with Glaives, which is very different than the kind of Adept pressure we've seen from him today, where it's been much more all-in, much more direct. But we'll see. No Twilight just yet. It would be crazy if he just does 3-gate third base.
He's making a third base.
Yeah, like he's just going to 3-gate Adept into a third, then add the Twilight Council after the Nexus.
He's pooling so much gas, though. I'm surprised, that he's mining this much and he just hasn't used it at all.
Could warp in some sentries here with that gas. They'll make sure he can hold on to this base. The other thing to note is that Solar, because he was so afraid of another all-in, he played super safe, and it took a late third. So actually, economy-wise, finally SOS's mind game has caught up with Solar a little bit, because it's been so aggressive that Solar plays so passively that now SOS has this lead in a sense, in economic sense, because he has this third Nexus so quickly. So now, instead of trying to drone up to compensate for that, it looks like Solar might be looking to put on some aggression. He stopped droning entirely. He's adding a Roach Warren.
This is the Sue move, where it's like, what? No, you can't do that. I'm just going to go kill you.
Very July Zerg as well. These aggressive Zergs we've seen for years and years. Life, also a player who would do things like this himself. So we'll see what comes of this. Obviously, if he gets this forge up, if he gets some cannons, this is definitely holdable. And he's kind of, I feel like getting an idea of what is to come with these shades. It's almost like he's just scouting.
He sees so many lings, right? But it could just be a response to the adepts. You know, maybe he thinks, oh, he's overreacting. He hasn't seen the roaches at all.
He hides the roaches. I think you're actually absolutely correct. I think he's looking at this as this is a response to my adept pressure. He did not scout the drones. Yeah, he did not scout the drones. And he has no cannons. He's moving out. Oh, boy.
He has no idea right now.
Solar is outplaying him right now. He's playing an even deeper mind game.
The only thing that he saw was a low number of drones at the third base.
Yeah, but he didn't see the natural at all. Okay, now so what? Solar could have attacked the third base with all of his might, but he's going to send just a small amount of units here to kill this pylon. Then he's going to send the rest back to crush this army. We're going to have to see a recall here. Oh, wow, sick control actually by SOS. Damn.
He forces the force fields to come out.
Yeah, so later he won't have them.
Yeah.
Very true.
And still a very high number of links here. They get in on top, and there's the recall.
Get some free damage done in the recall animation. And
two roaches going the wrong way.
Well, it looks like the rest of the army's coming up.
Right
He can break this ramp. Okay, two force fields go down. Ravager is done, though. He can pop those. And down it goes. Here they come.
Way too many links coming in here.
This is so much.
A ton of damage. Double overcharge in the cannon, though, is going to buy him some time.
Yeah, and almost at this point, Solar is pretty all in. You know, he doesn't have much of a transition point back at home, and he's making only lings. This adept is going to buy so much time. He's warping a sentry in. Can he get the force field off? Looks like Solar's in the back off anyways. Doesn't want to be halfway stuck there as he sees the sentry warping in. Now going to try to do a little bit more poke damage. The rest of the army is rallying across the map. Great force field here.
Even those units out, and now even killing a bunch of those roaches. Gets another overcharge up and ready, but the pylon does go down. Cannon unpowered now.
Another perfect force field here is finally denied. The cannon's unpowered, as you mentioned. The Ling's struggling to get surface area here, but more and more roaches are coming across the map. The Stalkers go down, and has he broken him? I believe he has.
The corrosive piles on the Stalkers that could not move. A nightmare for any Protoss player, and that's going to be a GG. Solar will win 3-1 and go to our finals of the CrossFinal matchup.
Very impressive series by our Starlink champion. Scouting hardcore, even in the game where he was duped in a sense. He was scared about more pressure. He took a late save third base with a lot of lings. He turns that into an attack, hides the roaches, tricks SOS into thinking the Lings are defensive, as you were saying, and then boom, smashes him there. He doesn't have his cannons up in time. He hasn't built enough sentries. The sentries are moving across the map, so they have to use their force field energy, as you mentioned, to defend themselves there before he recalls.
Yeah. Maybe the play there instead is you recall immediately, as you said, but maybe he just didn't really have, maybe because I don't think he saw the roaches. Maybe he saw one at his third, but maybe you recall and then you try to hold the ramp, or both ramps rather. You have a scout on the south side and then you hold the middle ramp with your sentries and just try to buy time, make more cannons. He had some good setups there with a couple of pylons in the cannon, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah. I mean, I think you pretty much just nailed it all on the head there. And so SOS, unfortunately for him, loses the GSL Finals, loses in the first match here, the round of 4. And that's it for $O here, really, for WCS this year. So, sad day, but that's the end of him. We're going to take a short commercial break. Or no, we're going to take an interview, I'm sorry, with our winner here of the round of 4.
Interesting. Get to talk to him. First player to make it to the final is Solar.
김유진 선수를 상대로 정말 손쉽게 승리를 가져가셨는데 소감이 어떠신가요?
그래도 확실히 유진이 형이
Very handy win against SOS. How do you feel?
연습 때 해본 경기랑 아예 다른 경기가 계속 나와서 좀 많이 힘들었던 것 같아요.
SOS has a unique style, and every map, it's so difficult to know what he's going to do. Practice against, how to practice against SOS, I guess just scout a lot. A lot of people said that SOS would be the one to bring out the strategic builds. So how did you prepare for that?
그냥 기본기로 하는 편이라서 딱히는 전략적인 승부보다 그냥 빌드 한두 개만 준비하고 연습도 그렇게 많이 한 편은 아니었어요.
네. 뭐
Wasn't really
강민 선수
trying to go
입장에서는
for,
오늘
you know,
저도
crazy
이제
strats or
김민진 코치랑 정말 많이
weird
이야기를
builds.
나눴어요.
네.
He just plays his
목표한
CVP
상금
based on his
금액이 있다고.
fundamentals.
일단
네.
목표는
And
제가
is known for being one of the best CVP players in the world.
혹시
if not the
빈백이
best.
왔는데 빈손으로 돌아가지 않을까 진짜 걱정했거든요. 근데 이미 상금도 이미 충분히 확보해놨고
네.
결승도 이렇게 올라간.
It's not about his lust for prize money.
이 게임 내적으로 좀 짚어보자면
네.
He has
김민진
greedy
선수는 다소
ambitions.
예능감이 있는 빌드를 상당히 많이 들고
So
왔습니다.
now that he's made it to the finals, he's getting at least the second place prize. So he's pretty happy about that.
원래 저렇게 해요 게임을.
네.
원래 저렇게 해가지고 저기 유진이 형한테 잡혔고요. 그냥 서로 되게 진지하게 해서 했던 것 같아요.
알겠습니다.
김유진 선수도 예능이 아니라 다큐로 받아들이신 거군요.
네.
So more on SOS. Solar knows that he said he was just going to enjoy the game.
선수와 변현우 선수의 경기가
SOS said that.
펼쳐지는데요. 예전에 강민수
But
선수가
he just played his game.
테란전은 확실히 박명호 선수가 잘한다. 하지만
straight up.
토스전은
Now talking about the
내가
next
낫다, 이런
match,
말씀을
Dark versus
하신 적이
Beyond.
있어요. 기억하시나요?
네, 기억합니다.
근데 오늘 공교롭게도 1경기 강민수
He's like, I want Dark to win so I can beat him again.
두 번째 경기 어떤 선수가 결승에 올라오게
So
될
he
것
said,
같나요?
저도 좀 적을 들어서
Dark
박명호
is
선수에게
better
배우고 싶어서 박명호
than
선수가
himself
얘기했어요.
at playing.
자, 그러면 어떤
Protoss.
선수가 올라올 것 같나요와 올라올
So who do you expect to be in the finals? Who do you want to be in the finals? He wants Dark to be in the
변현우
finals,
선수가 이길 것 같거든요.
네.
not Beyond.
근데 명호 형이 이겼으면 좋겠어요.
But he
약간
expects
박명호
Beyond to
선수를
win.
까다로워하면서
But he just
스타일이
wants Dark to
결승을
win.
좀 회상하면서
그렇죠.
상금을 위해 박명호가 올라와야 된다. 이 말씀이시죠?
네.
Maybe he's
알겠습니다.
reminiscing about the Star League finals, trying to get more of that prize money, defeating Dark.
을 잘 그렸던 선수라 아직도 스타리그 시즌2의 그 클로징 영상이
네.
아직 남아 있거든요. 자, 오늘 크로스 파이널에서 강민수 선수의 큰 그림은 어디까지 완성될지 지켜보겠습니다. 결승전에서 뵙겠습니다. 축하드립니다.
네, 감사합니다.
Bring back to the Star League.
네,
He said-
cinematic.
Yeah, he said in that cinematic everything went according to plan.
Yeah.
경기로 다시 찾아뵙겠습니다.
I suppose it did in that series as well.
Yeah. Very careful play, careful scouting.
Yeah, just, you know, his fundamentals are really strong, as he says. I mean, his ZVP is fantastic. He's played according to his plan, like how he likes to play, and really just bopped SOS in that series.
It was pretty one-sided, but at least SOS showed us some really cool builds. That's like, some of those builds he showed us. Try them on the ladder. You know, you might get some wins. It's definitely a fun way, a different way to play StarCraft.
Yeah,
And,
try that Chargelet Archon one. I might go try that one. That was pretty fun.
I want to try the carrier one and see if I can hide it, if it works. Like that's what I want to do.
What if he hit it outside of his base?
Yeah, like at
you
the
know?
top right of the map or something. And
That's
then,
like really scary and risky because then you don't have it near your base to defend. Right?
But if you think about it, like realistically, as we were talking about, if it's scouted, you lose the game anyways, basically. So, I mean, you're not going to be like, oh, I guess I just don't make carriers because he saw me, or like, you know, you have to use it anyway. So if you get scouted, you just type GG then.
Maybe
it's more
you just,
risky, but
yeah, or you just make it inside your base still, but you make like 4 cannons at your third, basically to make sure you hold it because the core of the build is just make as many carriers as possible, and you know, do
once
that
you
at
get
all
enough,
costs.
yeah, once you get enough, the Hydras can't deal with all the interceptors.
Yeah.
And you need to get like infestors out and stuff. It gets to be and corruptors, and it's a different situation entirely.
Yeah.
Maybe some Vipers as well is another thing. I mean, I don't really know exactly how that matchup really works, like what the best way to deal with that is, because we don't see it. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was excited to see it happen, but unfortunately, Solar is just too careful, and it didn't happen that way.
So we're going to be going to another commercial break here in just a bit. It's going to be a shorter one, a 5-minute one, before we do get onto that next matchup of Dark versus Beyond. So make sure you guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.